Welcome to Wainsider. Tonight, we are not just chronicling a return, we are witnessing the careful placement of a single thread that could unravel the entire tapestry of the Bloodline saga. The air backstage on Smackdown was thick with a tension we could feel through our screens, a quiet before a storm we didn't know was coming. It was in this charged atmosphere that a familiar, yet long absent, silhouette emerged from the shadows. The whisper of his name spread through the gorilla position like a rumor, a ghost from a past the tribal chief had tried so hard to bury. Tama Tonga was back. This was not a return heralded by pyrotechnics or a roaring crowd. This was a silent infiltration, a homecoming devoid of celebration, and that silence was more deafening than any theme music. The "Welcome Back" was not a public spectacle, it was a series of hushed nods, of guarded handshakes from those who remembered his name. He moved with a purpose that was calm, deliberate, and deeply unsettling. He was not here for applause, he was here for a reckoning. The very nature of his return, so quiet and so personal, built an emotional tension that was almost suffocating, a stark contrast to the bombastic energy of the arena just beyond the curtain. To understand the seismic weight of this moment, we must journey back through the entire emotional history of the Gorillas of Destiny, through the sacred halls of the dojo in Japan, and through the unspoken bonds of the Anoa'i family tree. The history between Tama Tonga and Roman Reigns is not written in WWE ring canvas, it is written in the legacy of Bullet Club, in the loyalty sworn not to a corporate brand, but to a code. Tama was not just another superstar, he was a foundational pillar of a global movement, a leader who understood power not as a title, but as respect earned through unwavering principle. Please like, share and subscribe for more WWE content. For years, there has been a silent resentment festering on the periphery of the Bloodline's dominance. While Roman Reigns built his empire on WWE's grand stage, Tama Tonga and his brother Tonga Loa were building their own legacy as the heart and soul of New Japan Pro Wrestling's most dominant faction. There was always an unspoken question: whose path was the true path? Who was the true heir to the fierce, revolutionary spirit of their heritage? Reigns' power was corporate, sanctioned, and magnificent. Tama's power was underground, international, and built on a different kind of respect. The pressure to live up to the family name took two very different, and perhaps competing, forms. This history is layered with complexity and a quiet competition that never had to be spoken aloud. It was in the subtle comparisons, the debates among the most hardcore fans about which cousin was the tougher draw, which one truly embodied the island warrior spirit. Roman had the global platform, but Tama had the undiluted, rebellious credibility. This created an unacknowledged tension, a silent game of one-upmanship that played out across two different continents, all under the vast, watchful umbrella of the Anoa'i family legacy. The pressure of this legacy is a weight few can comprehend. It is the pressure of Sika, of The Rock, of Yokozuna, of Umaga. It is the expectation to not only succeed but to dominate, to honor those who came before by being greater than all who came before. For Roman Reigns, this pressure forged the tribal chief, a paranoid monarch obsessed with controlling every aspect of his kingdom to secure his legacy. For Tama Tonga, the pressure may have forged something else entirely, a revolutionary who believes the true legacy has been corrupted by ego and pageantry. All of this history, the parallel paths, the silent competition, the differing interpretations of power and family, culminated backstage on Smackdown. The cameras caught a glimpse, but only a glimpse. Tama Tonga, finding not the tribal chief, but Sami Zayn. The "Welcome Back" was a quiet acknowledgement between two men who exist on the outskirts of Reigns' orbit, one by choice and one by exile. The tension in that handshake was palpable. What was said? What was promised? The scene was a masterclass in implication, making us question every alliance, every motive. And then, the narrative shattered. The reveal was not an attack in the ring, but a revelation of allegiance. The climax was not a physical blow, but a psychological atom bomb. Tama Tonga was not there to challenge Sami Zayn, he was there to join him. This was the true attack, a strike not at the tribal chief's body, but at the very foundation of his ideology. The bloodline is built on the principle of family loyalty above all else. By aligning with Zayn, the ultimate outsider and the man who exposed the cracks in the bloodline, Tama Tonga committed the ultimate act of betrayal in Reigns' eyes. He chose an outsider over his own blood. The emotional aftermath was a vacuum of silence, followed by a torrent of real backstage whispers. The word, game changer, was used. This changes everything. The whispers spoke of a genuine shock, of plans being protected with an unprecedented level of secrecy. This did not feel like a mere storyline twist, it felt like a legitimate coup. The real backstage reaction was one of awe, because everyone understood the profound implications. This was not a new hire, this was a fundamental shift in the balance of power within the most dominant faction in modern WWE history. What does this mean for the family's WWE legacy? It means the walls are crumbling from the inside out. The bloodline story was always about the dissolution of a family dynasty under the weight of its own hubris. The Usos defected. Solo Sikoa's loyalty is constantly tested. Now, a cousin from the outside, a man with his own formidable legacy and his own army of followers across the sea, has entered the fray and immediately sided with the rebellion. This moves the conflict from a civil war to a full-scale revolution. The very definition of family is being rewritten in real time. The betrayal is so profound because it comes from a place of deep, familial understanding. Tama Tonga isn't an outsider, he is blood. His betrayal carries the sting of intimate knowledge. He knows the pressure, he knows the legacy, and he has consciously chosen to dismantle Roman Reigns' interpretation of it. This is a rejection of the tribal chief's authority by someone whose opinion on family matters carries immense weight. It is the most personal threat Reigns has ever faced, because it cannot be dismissed as the actions of a honorary use. This is blood turning against blood. The broken trust is absolute. In the world of the Anoa'i family, trust is the currency of survival. Roman Reigns' entire empire is built on the command of loyalty. Tama Tonga's actions prove that command has its limits. It proves that there are members of this vast family who see his reign not as a proud chapter, but as a perversion of their shared culture. The trust between cousins, between branches of this legendary tree, is now irrevocably broken. This is no longer about a championship, it is about the soul of a family. In the end, we are left with a heartfelt reflection on the very nature of blood. Is blood thicker than water? Or is principle thicker than blood? Tama Tonga, return forces us to ask that question. His alliance with Sami Zayn suggests that true loyalty might not be to a name, but to a cause of righteousness, of fighting against a tyrant, even if that tyrant shares your DNA. This story holds a mirror to every family conflict, every time principles have clashed with patrimony. The heartfelt reflection is a painful one. Sometimes, the most devastating wars are not fought between strangers, but between brothers, between cousins, between those who share the same history but envision a tragically different future. The blood that binds them also becomes the weapon that wounds them the deepest. Tama Tonga's return wasn't a welcome back party, it was a declaration that the family's future will be forged in fire, and that the blood spilled may very well be their own. The host holds a solemn gaze for a final moment before the screen fades to black.